I have never seen a government official so checked out, so lackadaisical, and do something that could impact the American people on such a crazy level as I did today with Lindsey Graham while he was speaking to Jesse Waters. The reason that I found this is because I was listening to Joe Rogan and Bill Ottman talking about the Restrict Act. And Bill brought up the conversation that happened between Jesse and Lindsey. So I figured I'd check it out. And I have never been more shocked while laughing and surprised and angered at the same time. It's absolutely ridiculous. And here it is.
Did you see Jesse Waters grill Lindsey Graham about it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, he didn't read it, but he endorsed it.
Oh, Jesus.
And he just got completely called out. It was really funny.
Let's try to get some answers out of the Senator Lindsey Graham, who supports this and is here now. You got to be kidding me, Senator. Did you read this?
Yeah, I don't think I support the Restrict Act.
You don't support this because you were named as one of the supporters, because this is garbage.
Is this the one with John? There's two bills out there. One allows a review of businesses that are connected to China, give the secretary the ability to protect our data. Is that the Restrict Act?
Why doesn't he know? That is the question to be asking. You know, Jesse Waters is saying, did you read this? And it sounds like he's saying it in jest, a little bit serious, but in reality, he doesn't even know what the Restrict Act is. And we could always, you know, have the kind-heartedness to be like, oh, well, he probably sees a lot of things. But something like this, you should at least know what the name is. You should at least be able, when somebody brings you on a show to talk about the Restrict Act, you should at least know what it is in preparation for the show. If you didn't read it, I get that. You're just a terrible politician. I understand. You're not doing your job all that well. But to not even have prepared for the show to make it seem like you read it is just wild to me.
We got S686 right here, yeah. March 7th. Mm-hmm. And we got a bunch of Republicans supporting it. Because this thing is crazy town. You don't want the government looking into your private phone.
No, I don't.
If they have a hunch you're colluding with the Russians, we remember how that turned out.
That's right. Yeah, no, well, the Constitution trumps a statute. So let me come back and, give you a better explanation. Here's the problem as I see it.
Let me just be clear. I didn't take this like they had an hour-long conversation. I just got to this part. They have just began the segment. They are 1 minute in to the segment, and he's already saying, well, just let me come back and we can talk about this some more. This is crazy. Any other job, could you imagine? Let's say you work in an office and you walk in and they're like, so what happened with the work that was supposed to get done last Friday? And you're just like, you know what? Are you talking about this work? Oh, you know what? Just let me come back. I'll just come back and I'll have a better answer for you. But let's just talk about something else for a second. They'd be like, well, you're fired. You have to be fired. This is actually so laughable to me, but it's more of a shocked and angered laugh. It's just so ridiculous. Now, you're going to hear him talk about what he thinks the problem is. And it's going to be a lot of deflecting and trying to bring up a topic that seems like it's more important, but it's just trying to kind of take the shine off of the fact that he doesn't know about the Restrict Act and literally doesn't know about the topic he's on the show for. Crazy.
China is the parent company of TikTok, and my nieces like TikTok. I don't mind them using TikTok. I just don't want the Chinese government to seize all their data and manipulate the information America sees for political purposes. China is helping drug cartels in Mexico. China is not a friend. Chinese espionage is an all-time high against American business interests. So I want to push back against China, but within a constitutional framework. You're right about that. So, you made these allegations, and I'll come answer better next time.
Now, 100% China is definitely something to worry about. But the fact that he's bringing up the Chinese working with Mexican drug cartels, and this is not why you're on the show. You're on the show to talk about the Restrict Act, and the fact that he is okay with the Restrict Act that's being put on the American people, because that's who it oppresses the most, the American people. And his reasoning for that is because of China. Do you notice how they've been doing that for like the past 3 years? It's like, we're taking away this freedom, but it's not you guys. It's just because of this thing. You know, we're restricting you from doing this, but it's because of these guys over here. You know, we're giving all this money away to another country, but it's because of this evil guy over here. It's never their fault, and it's always, the weight of it is always on us. It's become regular, but it's absolutely nonsense.
All right, well, I mean, because on Congress.gov, you're listed as one of the co-sponsors of this thing. Maybe it's like Fetterman when your chief of staff does all your work for you. But, Senator, you got to go back and talk to these other senators about this. Yeah. This thing is nuts, and it's going to get abused like it always does. So we got to clean this up. Can we clean this up?
Well, yeah. I mean, number one, I owe you a better explanation I'm giving you. John Thune's got a bill to make sure the Secretary of Commerce can deal with this, not just TikTok, but the general idea that China, we're under attack by China. Now, that's a fact. Chinese Communist Party is stealing American data. Espionage against American businesses is at all-time high. According to the FBI, it's the #1 challenge they face. China is providing drug precursors to make fentanyl in Mexico that's killing Americans. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to push back against China being able to steal your data, but I want to do it in a constitutionally sound manner. So the problem is real with China, but the solution can be more damaging than the problem. Is sort of what you're telling me.
You know, don't push
That's what
back
you're telling me.
on the United States citizens.
You want to play a fun game? Go and take a shot every time he says China, okay? And call me when you're drunk as fuck, because that's what's going to happen to you. And again, China's a real problem, obviously, but the fact that somebody's telling you about a bill that's going to oppress the American people, that it's crazy, that you got to look into this, and he's just kind of like, But the thing about it is China. It's like, why does all of America have to go through something terrible in terms of a law being put on us? And that's for life. Just so you know, that's for life. It's never going to get lifted, just like the Patriot Act. It's never going to get taken away. Once it's there, it's going to be there. They're never going to let that go. Ever. Ever. And then on top of that, he talks about it like, that's what you're telling me. That's what you're telling me. Which means he really didn't read it. He actually didn't read it. It's not like he's like, oh yeah, I recall what it says. And, you know, apparently, he's saying apparently, and that's what you're telling me. And in the clip before, he called them allegations. He's like, you're putting out these allegations. It means he actually did not read the bill that he co-sponsored. Do you know how, like, that's not, I'm like at a loss for words. I'm surprised Jesse was able to just have this communication with him, because I just would have been jaw dropped. This is craziness. You co-sponsor a bill that is a ravenously oppressive bill, and when somebody asks you about it, you clearly didn't read it. You don't really care about it, and all you keep raving about is China, but no regard for the American people. And again, he should be defending against China. They should be looking into that as much as they can, but maybe it should be something that imposes the U.S. government will on China instead of on the people.
Yeah, no, I
for
understand what
something
you're saying.
China's doing. All right.
No, I totally get that, and constitutionally we can't do all the things you just said. So let me get back with you, but let me just end
get
with
back
this.
with me, because you co-sponsored it 2 days ago.
Okay,
Senator.
all right. Yep. See, makes me look bad. I don't know a better explanation.
All right.
My bad, but
my bad. Hey, my bad. Sorry, guys. Most oppressive bill that you've seen in decades? Hey, my bad. Didn't read it. It makes me look bad, I know. Any other job. Imagine you were at a job. Even if you worked at McDonald's, this would be unacceptable. Your manager would come up to you and be like, hey, did you leave did you leave 58 Big Macs outside? Just left them there? Because a bunch of people came and took them. And you just went, oh, the thing about it is Burger King, we're under attack by Burger King. You have to understand that, okay? And they were decoy, okay? And you're telling me that they're all gone. I haven't looked, and just, my bad. They'd be like, okay, Mark, you're fired. Bye. You have to go, Mark. You're fired. Can't be saying my bad when we're talking about the Restrict Act. He's in the government. It's not like he's just a guy. Oh my gosh.
I will say this about China. China is really a threat to America at multiple levels. The fentanyl coming in from Mexico, they have a direct link to that. It's coming out of China. I want to make Mexican drug cartels foreign terrorist organizations. I want to protect American data from Chinese manipulation by the Communist Party. That's my intent. And if this bill if it goes beyond that, I'll come on your show and say, my bad.
All right.
He said it again. Someone fire him. How do you fire? Like the people should have a way of firing somebody. They should be able to see something happen within the government and get together and say, we are calling for this person to be fired, not resign, none of that stuff, none of that language. Just they're fired. We are the people and they are fired now. Have them leave whatever office they're in. There should be an operation where we have that as people, because this guy he's checked out. It's like he gave in his 2-week notice and somebody's talking to him at work and he's just like, I don't know, man. Hey, my bad. I messed up. Hey, we can talk about it in 3 weeks, and he knows he's not going to be there anymore. Like, that's what it seems like. It's absolutely wild. But let's get back to the conversation between Joe Rogan and Bill Ottman.
That should be illegal. You should not even be able to sign something that you haven't read, and they can't read it. It's too long.
Right.
There's not enough time.
There's not enough time. That's a lot of these acts, right?
Oh,
and they slip a bunch of shit in there that's like, wait a minute, what about page 485? Like, what the fuck is going on there? And then like, oh, didn't read that.
Yeah,
But meanwhile, it's just like it's going to change discourse in this country. It's going to change what people have, the access that people have to free speech and communication.
And I think a lot of people endorsed it righteously, being concerned about TikTok.
Here's the thing that I'm going to say, because Joe's being very nice. Oh, there's not enough time and these things are so long. When it's your job to read the thing, you should read the thing. That's it. That's how it goes. You got dinner plans, you got this, you got that. Well, too bad. There's a bill in front of you that can impact the American people, negatively or positively. If your job is to sit there and read the things that you're co-sponsoring, that you're actually taking steps, you're helping take the steps for it to become law, you read the thing. And also, I've read the Restrict Act. It's not that long. It took me 45 minutes to read it. 45 minutes. These laws some of them are extremely long. I'll give you that. But this one isn't. This gentleman just didn't read because he didn't feel like it, because maybe the person who was sponsoring it is a friend of his and he just decided to just go with whatever his friend wanted. And also to the other gentleman, Bill, who's talking about how they did it righteously because of TikTok. Maybe so. But again, you have to read it. You have to look into it. If somebody brings you something and say, this is a TikTok bill, and you read about it and you're like, well, I haven't heard anything about TikTok, that should kind of set something off to you. Even if you skim through it, there's nothing about TikTok. And then maybe you ask the question, well, how does this help with, the problems we have with TikTok? That's all that had to happen. But this was just a case that really surprised me. I've never seen Lindsey Graham have a conversation. I've never seen a senator that checked out, and all of this just surprised me so much. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think Lindsey is operating properly, or do you think maybe it's time that he just hang it up and head to whatever, just head on out, just grab his hat, grab his box of stuff, and just head out. I think that's what it's time for. But you let me know in the comments what you think. Other than that, I'm out.